Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. New people for me, and I live in Morfettville, and this is sort of the other side of town that I've never been to, so it's quite interesting for me. And thank you, Sasha, for inviting me tonight. So tonight I was invited to share my story, and my hope is that I could inspire any of you. If you may have some sort of idea, inventions, perhaps you could inspire you to maybe commercialize it, or turn it into like a business opportunity. So I was featured at Lat 14 Innovation magazine. So Lat 14 is like the supported by the Department of Premier and Cabinet. So this is a magazine where all the innovation in South Australia are featured. So from AI technology to so different businesses, and that's me there. They decided to put me on the cover because they're interested in the technology that I'm trying to bring in Australia that has to do with solving a real social issue, about accessibility. So my theme for tonight, necessity is the mother of all invention, and the reason why I chose that is because it was quite true for me, in my experience, and how I turned this problem that I constantly face as a single parent without any access to immediate family in Australia, and turned that into opportunity and built a company around it. So I'm the founder of Cobber. So Cobber, Aussie slang for the word mate. And I founded this company with a vision of accelerating accessibility, engaging peer support, peer-to-peer support, and combining that with technology to improve people's lives in terms of access to essential household furniture, particularly secondhand. So basically, when you buy something from Facebook or Gumtree, and it's often that logistical barrier that many people face. So furniture is a part of our lives. You start a new family, you need a new bed, start uni for the first time, you need that desk, or maybe you're having a baby for the first time and you need a cot as well. And I live in a public housing and raise my children in a public housing as a single mom. And it's often that logistical barriers whenever I source my home with secondhand furniture. And it felt quite frustrating and isolating as well, because I wish I have a family who I could easily ring. And it's just unfortunate for me, and I was just so sick of the problem. So that was me, featured in the magazine, had the photo opportunity with the South Australian Premier. And so the person in the middle is the co-founder of Netflix. So it was in a startup festival that I attended, and he was the guest speaker there. So he also had a really interesting story about how he founded Netflix. And I asked for the photo. So I'm that person who raised the hand and asked for what I want. But part of me was wanted to test. So at the time, it was a different time because at the moment the app is already launched at the Play Store and App Store. But it was a different time at the time. It was a different sort of stage of my startup at the time. But I wanted to see how what the Cobber brand would look like in front of many people. So I asked for the photo with the co-founder of Netflix, and there it is. So yeah, a bit of a personal background. I was born in the Philippines. I moved to Australia when I was 25, got married and all that, and became a single mom. Raised my children in the last 13 years. My daughter is now 13 years old. And I do have a degree in computer engineering in my early 20s back in the Philippines, but as I focused on raising the kids. So I had to wait until they're old enough to make themselves sandwiches before I can finally do something for myself. But as a young child, I was quite a bit of an academic, but however, I did grow up in poverty. So we were so poor in the Philippines, and as you know as well, with poverty comes domestic violence and all of that. They sort of tend to connected together. And so yeah, I grew up with a lot of adversity, and I feel like a lot of my qualities that I have now sort of was shaped by those experiences. And yeah, so I'd tell you a bit of a story that has to do with resourcefulness and creativity, and sort of using turning the problem that I faced at the time and turn it into an opportunity. So in the Philippines, I was 17 years old. We were so poor, but I did participate in a beauty pageant when I was 17 years old. And my parents could not afford to buy me a costume. So what I did was, there was the inner tubing of a tire. I turned that in, so the costume event at the time was, the theme was futuristic. So I turned the inner tubing of a tire that was thrown away by our neighbor and made that into a futuristic theme costume. And, I wasn't particularly in a colonized sort of country. Philippines was colonized in the 15th century, and that influence sort of was still there. You can still feel it. They have like beauty standards. You gotta be, 5'7", as much as Caucasian looking as you possibly could. And I was 5'2" and brown. So I had all the audacity, right? But I won that beauty pageant. So I thought thank you. All I needed to do was to get through to top 3, because the score is gonna go back to 0. And then it turned out that I was the most articulate, among the 3 girls. But yeah, I felt that I was quite resourceful, just using whatever I had in my, environment at the time. And
so you tell us a story like that because a picture of the costume.
It was like a futuristic costume, but I thought it's a great story of resourcefulness and resilience, which comes to my next sort of. Do you guys know what this is?
Seaweed?
Seaweed? Yeah. Well, so there's a hint there.
Isn't it a sea animal?
It's a sea animal. Yeah. So yeah, we were walking. It was a beautiful day a couple of weeks ago, and we went for a walk to Glenelg Jetty, and we saw this weird-looking creature, and I didn't know what it was either, and I had to Google it, and it turned out it was a decorator crab. It's an actual species, a decorator crab. So. What it does is it decorates itself to look exactly like a seaweed, and to protect itself from predator, basically. So it disguises itself. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh wow, that's incredible. Yeah, so the notion around how all the animals develop their superpowers or their special abilities from the challenges that they face, just like that decorator crab, pretty much. And I find that really interesting, really fascinating. And I believe that as human as well, we're very, very similar. Hence, we're meant to be the most, I suppose, intelligent entity in this planet, isn't it? So so, and yeah, so going back, to my personal adversity, as a person of lower income, I constantly just use secondhand goods to source my home, secondhand furniture and that, and then it's always that access to people who can help me with that problem, and it's always been a constant, challenge that I face. And one time I realized how, technology, I do have a background in technology, and all I had to do was to use the existing concept of technology and transfer that into this niche in the market that no one pretty much had addressed. And so, I did, upon, working on the idea, validated it, did some customer interview, and it turned out a lot of people can actually relate to the problem that I'm trying to solve. It didn't matter if they were single parent like myself, or there could be a busy professional, who work Monday to Friday and can't be bothered, or people with physical restrictions, even elderly people as well. I spoke to some of the elderly people, and they can relate to the problem that I'm trying to solve. And I thought, I think this might be it. And I knew from the very beginning as a child that, coming from poverty and all that, I always wanted to create some sort of impact. But for a long time, I didn't know what it's going to be. And plus me, focusing on children, the kids in the last 13 years. And then finally, all I had to do was to solve my own problem that I'm experiencing. And then turn that into an opportunity. And going back to the crab, I believe that from the challenges that I face, it brought some sort of creativity and resourcefulness. That was the special ability that I developed. Constantly just seeking solution to challenges, and pretty much whenever you start a business, that's pretty much the very fundamental, the very core principle of it. And we often maybe ask ourselves, how do I become creative in this and that? And sometimes it does really start with a challenge, and how opportunity can come out of that. And resourcefulness as well. So I built my company from scratch, pretty much. I initially had $5,000, started scoping for the technology that I need, wireframing and all of that. And then eventually I paid myself back when I raised money so I've got shareholders, and raised $70,000 to build the product, and to get it to soft launch. And then my second goal is, once we're launched and once we have the customers that are using the product, then I'm going to raise $600,000 to scale across the country, to expand to Melbourne market, New South Wales market, and everywhere in Australia. From that problem that I'm trying to solve, so we were going to be the first company. It turned out that we are going to be the first company in Australia to enable on-demand capacity, on-demand infrastructure when it comes to household essentials and services. So what that means at scale is, with the narrative of using peer support, whether that's you need help with mowing your lawn, for example, you'd be able to do that just on the tap of the phone. No need to negotiate, no need to look for people on Facebook or Gumtree for help. And yeah, so we're the first company to bring that to Australia, enabling on-demand capabilities where you get pricing in front of you. And what makes us different to AirTasker is that we're modeling our company to be for good company, social impact company. And that's how we're gonna, with the messaging and with our brand equity, that's what's going to make us quite different from another platform called AirTasker. So with AirTasker as well, you still have to fill out forms online, which can be laborious, can be pesky, and then you'll get a few different people maybe negotiating, hey, I'll do it for this much and that much. And sometimes, you're in the southern, I'm from the southern part of the southwestern, I think, in Morphettville. And then I could be getting somebody from the north, and then that would then add to the cost barrier for me. But what if you've got, someone the technology can pick up someone nearby within 5 to 10 kilometers and, connect you instantly to, if you need help with picking up something a bit large that doesn't fit in your car, or, having to, save you from having to hire a trailer, which nowadays would cost you around $80 to $150. And yeah, so I have a massive, massive ambition for this company, and we are going to be the first social unicorn in Australia. So I've read about, comment around how it's so hard to scale a social enterprise model. And then I decided that we're going to be the first social unicorn. So we would like to expand to scale to New Zealand, the UK, Canada, the US as well. So that's my ambition. And I want them to know that, when one day they would look up the meaning Cobber, that Cobber is actually a very uniquely Australian word. So they'd look it up, wonder what the word is. Oh, it's from Australia. And so, yeah, that's all sort of a part of my vision. So it began with that problem, the simple problem that I had. And upon the discovery of with the diversification of the technology, it turned out to be a scalable, potential multi-million, hopefully billion. I want to say billion because I believe in manifestation. And when you say it, the universe hear it. And yeah, so that's it, I think. Cobber. Yeah, so we're community focused. I've also found, a lot of entrepreneurs would tell you how you first make meaning, and the money comes as a byproduct of that. So it turned out as well that, from going back to that sort of ambition of mine, or like the personal sort of like desire of mine to always want to, create some sort of impact in this world. And for a long time, I didn't know what it was. And I felt that like it's quite fortunate that I was also able to find the meaning first of meaning and impact, and which for me, what the most important thing for me is accessibility, which is opposite to social isolation. And that goes back to my personal experience, my personal adversity. And, imagine how many people out there are experiencing the same as well. People who maybe live in the remote regional area as well. So we're bringing that innovation and that technology infrastructure in Australia. And yeah, So we've so far pre-registered 43 drivers. And so I'm just getting the business insurance in place, and then I'll start onboarding them. Because before I, do the business activity, which one of them is onboarding the driver, I gotta have a business insurance first. So I'm just getting that in place, and then we start onboarding the drivers. And so the app is live at the Play Store and App Store as well. So I'm actually looking for, awesome, amazing, thank you so much. I'm looking for users. As you know, we're just about to launch in November, but the idea is to have users on board. And that would help me as well when I pitch for my next investment to show for the investor, hey, we've got 100 users in our platform. We're building traction. So it would help me if you guys could download the app. So so the idea is if you need, if you bought something from Facebook or Gumtree, you can't pick it up, you don't have a suitable vehicle, it will save you from having to hire or the laborious efforts into having to hire a trailer, plus also the cost. The idea is it will instantly connect you to somebody nearby who have used trucks and happy to help as well. You get the pricing in front of you, so it reduces eliminates the having to negotiate with somebody. So I'll be speaking at an event in October 26. So these are the amongst the founders in Adelaide that are who have built company that are impact focused. So whether that's one of them is focusing on energy, AI, and that's me there. So it turns out as well that our company aligns with the UN Sustainable Goal, which is one of them is innovation, community innovation, and reduce inequality or poverty, because it's a platform that allows for income opportunity for those who want to help in their community. And so I think that's it.